black men ain't shit. And every woman is a thought, she only out for pockets. The shit is toxic, man, I'm praying that my people stop it. Shit, Black Panther tried to teach us, Ryan Coogler blessed it. Niggas saw the whole movie, didn't get the message. I swear that racism's a bitch no matter how you dress it. It's zero trust up in the law, nah, faith is lesson. Nah, faith is lesson. You know them lessons that we learn from watching the system burn. Our brothers and sisters yearn for justice and fair terms. We waiting just for a turn, we praying.
What's good, people? You're tuned into Big Condo Radio. This is the Shakedown with Royzy Rothschild, Liverpool City up in this. Big shout out to all the rappers and artists that have featured on the Shakedown series so far. Can't wait to have you all back in down at Vauxhall Road, Liverpool City. But this is a special showcase at the minute. This is Shakedown International. We've gone international while we're locked down. I got my guy with me today. He goes by the name of Young Deuces. I'm happy to have my man on here. Obviously, he featured with me on a song called The Journey with Tiffany Riddell, which we dropped in January, which is doing really well. Go check that out on YouTube now, okay?
Definitely.
But well, we've got Deuces on. I just want to ask him, because I don't know myself, why are you called Young Deuces?
Man, so you know what? It's not a thrilling story, because I went through a couple of names, like everybody who starts rapping. I mean, you don't generally get your first name off good. So like my journey to my name was when I first came into first started rapping, I was heavily influenced by Twista and Mystical, right? So like
Twista.
I wanted to
love Twista.
Yeah.
First time I heard Twista was 1999. It was the Puff Daddy Forever album, and he was on a
Victory?
song. Yeah.
No, not Victory. Is This the End? It was
Is this the end? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I heard him.
So I'm gonna tell you a good story about that too. But so I wanted to be like Twista and Mystical, so I did the double time rapping, and so like I went by the name Maniac. And
Maniac.
Yeah, that's what I went by. And then I don't know, as I evolved as a rapper, I didn't always do the double time, and I didn't want that to be just like my stick. And so I was like, okay, I just got to come up with a name. And I came up with all these names, and then trying to have a story with the name. But then I was like, man, I just need a name that just sounds cool. And so I came up with Young Deuces. And I literally do not have a story behind it besides I thought it just sounded cool.
Yeah.
But before we jump past, because you did bring up this.
It sounds better than Maniac though, bro.
Yeah, it does. So you brought up Is This the End? So probably 2-3 months ago, I was talking with Twista on Twitter. And I was telling them, I said, man, I would love, so there's two parts. It was Is This the End 1 and Is This the End Part 2? And I was like, it's a story on both of those songs. And I was like, man, it'd have been dope to get a third one right now. And he was telling me man, what's even crazy is we had shot a full video. It was a full music video. Footage has been shot and it's somewhere on Diddy's hard drive. He just never released it. So they got a full video to that song, cinematic during that time, and they never put it out.
It's crazy how they don't put it out, isn't it?
Right.
Spending all that money on a video and not putting it out.
Especially back in that time. And back in those times, music videos cost so much, man.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
How old was I then? I thought must have been 17 or 16 when I got that album. And I just remember listening to it thinking, who is this cat? Just, you know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, crazy this, you know what I mean? And then later on, he didn't come out over a year. He didn't come out for I don't know. He came, the next time you heard him was with Kanye West.
Well, so that was his other album. So being from the Midwest, so Twista's from the same region as me. Milwaukee is right next to Chicago. So I grew up on Twista. He had his album called Adrenaline Rush. That was when I was first introduced to him. That was the first album that introduced Twista as the fastest rapper in the world to the world. And then he went on. He did the songs with Diddy and just other artists that he did the songs with. But then what kind of relaunched him, because he was kind of like, you know, he was still big, but like he never like didn't cross over. And then he did the overnight celebrity, because Kanye West is from Chicago as well. So like Twista was like a Chicago legend. Kanye West got big, put Twista on with them, and then that kind of catapulted him to more and more, you know, stardom.
So. Like that's what I'm saying. It was like the first time I heard him was on the Diddy album. Second time I heard him was on Kanye's song. You know what I mean? So that's like about a 5-year space as well.
Yeah, that was
5 years. He must have done a lot that didn't get noticed. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
But enough on the Twister situation. Let's get back to Young Deuces. So basically, you dropped My Unapologetic Black Thoughts album and Son of a Soldier. I know Son of a Soldier is the new one, isn't it?
That is correct.
Yeah. So should we go back a bit into My Unapologetic Black Thoughts first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, what was the album about? Like, give us a breakdown.
Well, so the album came around around that time where, and even though it's still going on, but it was like a lot of police brutality, you know, police killing unarmed black men. And so it had hit home because what happened, there was a gentleman by the name of Jay Anderson in Milwaukee who was sleeping in his car and ended up getting gunned down by the police. So I went through an array of emotions during that time. And I did this spoken word piece that I put out that was about it, right? And then it was well received, but I felt like my thoughts wasn't completely done. Like I wasn't done with the situation. I wasn't done with the fight. So after that, I put out that spoken word piece. I just started making songs. I didn't really have a direction for the album yet, but all my songs was geared towards just addressing the elephant in the room about the police brutality, but also addressing some of like the interracial divide that we have in my community. And then just also that it's not only a fight just to fight against the oppression or against police brutality, but we do need peace, right? So like it was an overall message. And so when I started doing the album, I was like, man, you know, the mindset of, you know, me as being a black man is like, you know, I want to be militant, but I also want change. You know, I don't want to be us versus them, even though it is us versus them. I want it to be us together going against the oppressors, right? So it was like, this is like my unapologetic black thoughts, because at times it's going to be aggressive, but at times I'm going to be preaching and pleading for, you know, us to be together and us to work together. So I put that together. You know, shout out to my producer K Mel. He did all the beats on there. Him, and then you know, his guy T Streets. And then in between songs, I spliced in the spoken word, because there were segments of the spoken word piece that kind of coincided with the songs, and it just kind of flowed very well. So like it's funny because if you listen to the album, I always tell everybody, if you listen to the album, it starts off aggressive. It starts off, you know, with, you know, can I cuss?
Yeah.
All right. So it starts off on like, you know, fuck the police mentality. It starts off on, you know, this is us against them. But then as you go through the album, you also start hearing like me address like, you know, the colorism that happens within the black community. So it's like it's fuck the establishment. Then now it's like, hey, but we got to look at ourselves, because we got some fucked up shit that we're doing with ourselves. And then it leads to, okay, so we need to come up together with a plan. We need to fix it. So like you have that roller coaster emotion that goes up, down, up, and ends on a high note of, we just need to come together and work it out. So like that was the whole process and thought process with that album. Then I put a lot of thought into like the music videos that I put out with it, because I didn't want to put out a music video just to be putting out a music video. I wanted the stories to be told within those music videos as well. So, you know, it's just one of those albums that like, it really meant a lot to me, because when I put it out, I was kind of self-conscious about it, because I was like, damn, I don't want people to think that it's just another black man screaming fuck the police. I want them to get the full message. The full message. And people did get the full message, and I was excited about that because I was like, great, they see that no, this is not just there's layers to this album, and you got to listen to it in totality. So it was a really dope process.
So how did you like keep all that together from start the first song to the end song? Like because we're talking a lot of tracks, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
on one
about,
subject.
Mm-hmm. Well, because the way I write and the way I approach music, like I said, I want to make sure there's a message in everything. So I didn't map. So when I was writing the songs, I didn't map it out. I was just making songs, and that's why I called it my unapologetic Black thoughts. Because if you just listen to song without the format that I put it in, it can sound random. So then sequencing became a big factor, because after I had these collective of songs, and I sat with them, I said, okay, so what's the story I want to tell, and how do I want to tell this story? And so like there was only 2 songs that I knew exactly where there was. The intro that I created, and then the last song that I created.
Yeah.
I said, I know that those 2 songs, no matter what, this is going to be my start and this is going to be my finish. So it helped out with that. And then I just start sequencing, like, okay, so what is the initial thought? Like, when you see something like what's been going on, what was my initial thought? Well, there was a lot of aggression. So I said, okay, so if this is my unapologetic Black thoughts, and my initial thought that when I see that the news of an unarmed Black man being gunned down is aggression, I'm going to start it off with aggression. So I started off the album that way. And then I started thinking about, okay, so in my thought process, after I start getting the details and I start analyzing and digesting the information that I got, how am I going to, like, what is my thought process at that point? And that's when I started thinking about, like, okay, well, you know what? It's not just a us versus them problem. There's also some stuff that we have to work on ourselves. So then I started sprinkling those tracks in there. And then I said, okay, so now the whole overall message is we need to come together and fix this. So then that's when I started sprinkling those records in about, all right, so now we need to, get some type of unity. And so it kind of like, because of the way that I wrote those songs and because I sat with the sequencing a lot, that's what helped me figure out that flow and keep it on topic.
It sounds good. The way it's all being put together, it's been well thought and well constructed from start to finish. You know what I mean? Sounds really good, mate. But what's the spin on Son of a Soldier? Is this talking about your dad and you being the son of a soldier, or is?
Well, it's come from the influence of my dad and being the son of a soldier. So my dad was in the military, and some of my early remembrance of music was being in the studio with my dad while he recorded his album, because my dad was a rapper and a DJ. And so, like, I remember
what type of rapper was he?
He was more of a conscious rapper as well, because so the very, very first song that I remember that I ever learned, it was the song called "The Dream" that my dad made about Dr. Martin Luther King, one of his favorite, most respectable people to him. And so I used to take that rap, and I used to do it at every Black History program, any opportunity I had to rap it, I would rap it, right?
Yeah.
So I just remember this whole process. So one day I was helping my parents clean out their basement and everything, and when I was doing that, I found his old rap book, and when I opened up the rap book, the very, very first song in that rap book was that song.
Was that song?
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, oh man, it's dope. So he had about 7 tracks in there, and I remember when I found that rap book, I was keeping it with me everywhere I go. It was kind of like the Bible to me, because even in it, he, like, in the seams of the notebook, he dedicated it to me. He wrote it the year that I was born. So like it was just like, there was a lot to it. So then I was like, how can I honor my dad? Right. And I was like, there was a lot of things that he had influence on me. And I said, you know what if I took the title of those 7 tracks and then I made songs inspired by those words in that rap book? So that's what I did. So I took the 7 songs and then I made songs inspired based off of those 7 songs, and I put it together in regards to it. Right. And then before the quarantine, so the quarantine kind of hindered me, because I had this dope event plan where I would so I got I printed out the rap pages on canvas art, like canvas art walls, right? And so I was going to have an art gallery where I was going to perform all of the songs, but you was going to have his words on the canvas paintings all around me, at this art gallery in the city. But then the shutdown happened, and then I wasn't able to do it. So I got these canvases. I probably will
You're
still do
turning into
some way.
Kanye West, aren't you?
Man, well, you know what? I wanted to do something creative, right? You know, because you know the one. Well, and then also, you know, music is art, and his actual book, you know, his actual words, his actual writing, his lettering. Like, I thought that would have been a dope display. I didn't want to just do a regular concert. Yeah. So, you know, I wanted to get creative. But like I said, the lockdown, you know, shut that down. But like it was pretty dope because, like, you know, my dad, like I did a big interview with this magazine, and my dad, he got to read like me talking about the inspiration from it. And you know, it was one of those things that really, you know, like he really appreciated, because, you know, as a father myself, you never know what moments that your kids are going to remember, or what moments put an influence on your kid's life. And he knows that I did music, and he knows that I was influenced by him, but I don't think he knows the level at it, because that's where my drive and my inspiration came. And, you know, being able to read those words and still like, oh man, I remember this. Like, you know, like that was pretty dope.
No, it sounds sick. It sounds like your dad was a big influence, but the fact that him being a rapper as well, is like the father like son. Know what I mean? Also, that's right, isn't it? Know what I mean? But how long have you been rapping now? So when did you must have started when you was a kid? So
yeah, I mean, I started when I was like, I definitely started when I was a kid. I've been rapping since I was like 14 or something like that. I would say, but I always tell everybody, like, it got serious when we put out our first album, because that's when we started, you know, accumulating money. That's when me and Street started doing, you know, shows and everything like that. So I say about 14 years now, maybe 16. 2004 is when we put out our first album. And
was it? Yeah.
Yep. So we did it. That was fresh out of high school. Me and Streets, we put out this first album called The Future, and yeah, ever since then we've been running.
So are you still working with Streets, or is?
So Burger Streets. The Streets is my blood cousin. That is my first cousin. That's my dad's sister's first son. So, like, you know, that's family. So one of the things that message great with me and Streets is that, like, so me, I've always been a rappity rap. You know, I always want to rap. Streets, he had a more business executive mind, and a creative mind. He likes to write. He likes songwriting and song creations. So we started this label called EMP Entertainment, and, you know, that's where all of our music drops. And what Streets is doing now is he is working with a couple of artists, trying to get them up to par, working with this R&B singer called Elisa Nicole, and, you know, just helping these artists get their album out. So, like, he's working on that end. And just, like, you know, just getting collective producers and everything together. And me, like I said, I'm still just I'm taking this time to hone my craft and just kind of make sure, like, you know, that aspect of the label is still rocking, right? So, like, you know, the existing artists that we have, you know, Be Easy. I mean, Easy will not be, well, he goes by Easy Hayes now, but I got my artist Easy Hayes, my artist Payroll. Right now we're working on getting their projects out. My artist Maul himself, and then, like, Streets is working with the newer artists. So we're just trying to make sure that the EMP imprint stays alive. Make sure that we can still put out content, even once we decide to stop.
See, sounds good. Artist development.
Yeah,
it sounds good. Does it keep it moving? So does that mean that you've been doing this now for 16 years?
Yeah, man, 16 years, man.
Is that 16 years? So are you 30, are you? Or 29? Yeah. You're 30, yeah?
Yeah.
Good stuff. So I'm saying, legends in the game. But what do you do when you're not rapping and running labels and things?
Right. So for me, man, like I said, I like to put out content. So I'm a graphic designer as well. Kind of got into that, kind of bumped into that because I felt like there was certain graphic designers that were overcharging, and I was like, when I can figure this
it's
out
a lot of
myself.
them.
Yep. So I learned it myself, and then I put myself in. I went back to school to get my degree in graphic design. But most of my time outside of graphic design, I'm doing a podcast. I run this podcast called Geek Set Podcast.
Yeah.
We call ourselves the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. Because a lot of it's funny because a lot of times when I'm talking with some of my my guys, we talk about anime, video games, comic books, music, and respect to all the other geek properties that's out there. But I did not hear people talking like us, in that with that hip hop, right? And so I was like, I need to put out a platform like that. So I came up with this podcast, and where we shoot the shit about geek stuff, hip hop stuff, but it's like it has that hip hop feel to it. It's not 100% geek, not 100% hip hop. It's blending both of those cultures. So I do that. We put out an episode every 2 weeks. I launched a YouTube interview series called One-on-One with Deuces, where I'm extending the conversation. I'm interviewing other people one-on-one about just both hip hop, geek community, and just kind of like their love for it. So I got 3 episodes out now on our YouTube channel for it. But that's been doing very well because we get invited to all the comic book conventions, anime conventions, and then we cover it as press, but then we put out dope content with it. It's been a dope ride with the Geek Set podcast as well.
And we're in the era of content, aren't we? Let's be honest. You can't just be releasing music anymore. You've got to add value with the music. Do you get me? If you just no one's interested in someone that just releases music or doesn't release content. You know what I mean? You've got to back the music up with the content, haven't you? You know what I mean? So everything that you're doing is standard procedure for artist marketing at the minute. You know what I mean? But I've got notes down here. That's why I keep looking there. The Fly Me single that you've dropped. Yeah. Is that off Son of a Soldier?
Yep. So that was off Son of a Soldier. The approach that I kind of took with that, because it was one of those songs like when I was reading his words, he was more talking about, it was like his inner thoughts of just feeling like he's the flyest, right? And I was like, okay, so I was like, I kind of want to switch that approach, and I kind of was like, it was my inner thoughts about like still on the same content of there's things going on in this world, but there's certain days where I just want to fly away from it all. And so like I linked up with Sarita Campbell. She's this international gospel R&B reggae singer. And she her voice is a very angelic voice. And I was like, all right, I think this is going to be dope, because I was like, I want, like, when I'm talking about the world, I'm talking about just how people view each other. And just like, you know what, this is a whole lot. And some days I just want to fly away. And so so we kind of got together, we put that record out, and then we did the video. And I said, I want one of those videos where it is just more of us, like it's like a reflective video. So like it's dope because it's like I'm walking down this neighborhood and I'm rapping, but it's like I'm not necessarily rapping towards the camera. It's like I'm rapping, like I'm talking to myself in my head. And we kind of cross paths with Sarita Campbell. And then the camera views to her doing the hook, but it's kind of like, it's not like her doing it towards the camera. It's like she's like on, it's like waiting on the bus, but like she's in her moment, just having her moment, like saying she wants to fly away from whatever she's dealing with. So like it's one of those records that I think a lot of people gravitated towards, because even outside of the content of it, even if you just drown yourself into the beat and then the hook itself, I just want to fly away, fly away from like what's going on. So it's like it's pretty dope. Like I like the it came out really dope.
I'm sure a few people want to fly away from COVID-19, bro.
Man, listen here.
So that song's relevant right now. It's relevant.
Yeah.
But what I want to do for everyone, I want to give everyone a sneak preview of the song. So let's load up that song now. This is Young Deuces, and it's called Fly Me. There we go, lads. So we'll throw that in there, and that'll play there, yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna come on back now. I'm gonna hit you with the top 5 rappers.
All right.
This will be
Cool.
fun. Okay.
Yep.
Right. And we are back. That was Young Deuces, Fly Me. Go Adam on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment. Let them know what you think of the video and the song. Go Adam on Spotify. Now we are back in business. It's the Shakedown, and we need to know what the top 5 rappers are from Young Deuces.
Now we talking top 5 now or top 5 ever?
Top 5. Your favorite top 5 rappers ever?
All right, so if I'm going with my favorite top 5s ever, number 1 is Hov. Jay-Z has been a big influence on me as far as artistry goes, because he's somebody that came from nothing, made his own way, and you see the growth in his music as he ages, you know, and so like I'm highly respectable for that. Then I would have to follow it up with Biggie.
I just want to say I agree with Jay-Z. That Jay-Z is my idol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People think white boy, his idol must be Eminem. Do you get me? But
right.
It's not, bro. Like I listen to, like, the artists I listen to are more like Jadakiss, Fabulous, Jay-Z, Royce the 5'9", like these so many that I listen to that's not Eminem, bro. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But
no, I hear you.
Jay-Z's always did, but not just for his music, for his business acumen.
100%.
What he's done in the game as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Go on then. Biggie.
Yep. So Biggie was my next one because you know what? It's like he just, like, I respected the way that he had a way with his words. Like, you know, the way that he would put certain things together in his lyricism. And it's just like his content.
Kiss rings when they meet Victory, bro.
Yep. So my third one would be Pac, because one thing that Pac showed me was that you can put emotion into your music and people is going to like it. You know, Pac was more of a poet, I always tell everybody, because the way that he used his words and emotions that he showed, yes, he had those thug life songs, but then he'll hit you with Dear Mama or I Ain't Mad at You. And so it's like, you know, like he showed me that artistry from a different standpoint in regards to that.
Bro, I know every single word to Brenda's Got a Baby.
Right.
Every single word, bro.
Right.
That's the song that kept me alive when I was stuck in working in an ice cream factory when I was 18.
Right.
You know what I mean? Every single word.
So my top 5 has changed because now I got two new people in it that's kind of like newer. So
go on.
My fourth person would be J. Cole. Right now, like I said, like everything that he's doing, I feel I'm just all in. You know, I like the way I like the consciousness that he has into his music. I like the message that he's preaching, and I like his approach. And then lastly is going to be my fifth person is Kendrick Lamar.
You know what, right? I knew you was going to say that. As soon as you said J. Cole, I knew Kendrick Lamar was coming next. I knew it.
Yeah,
I could sense it.
Yep, and it's the same, man. It's the artistry that they put in, but it's the message. Like I find myself gravitated more towards artists who have a message in their music these days. And just like, you know, and when they do it and it doesn't sound forced or corny, right? Like both Cole and Kendrick, they sound dope at what they're doing, and they're doing it at an elite level, but the message is very important as well. So that's my top 5.
Is it you've got 3 in your top 5 out of my top 5. You know what I mean? But you're missing Nas.
Nas was originally in it. Nas was definitely originally in it. But like I said, I've been listening to so much Cole and Kendrick lately that they kind of
you got to make room, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it changes weekly. It does change weekly because I keep changing it as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you've got your top 5 that you'd think they should be the top 5. You know what I mean? But you don't even listen to them. Like, I can't remember the last time I listened to a Tupac record. You know what I
Right.
mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got every album, you know, and I listened consistently for maybe 15 years. But I don't wake up and go, let's throw a Pac record on. You know what I mean?
I got different playlists that I create that where, you know, it'll sprinkle in some of the old music and stuff. But I also I got top 5 in categories because, like, you know, because I was heavy in the mixtape game, and like if I'm talking mixtape, I mean then like
Lloyd
that's
Banks,
where Lloyd Banks, Fab, Cassidy. You know, that's where Joe Buttons come in. Like there's a whole bunch of people in the mixtape realm that not in my top 5 of all time. So it's like, you know, I categorize how my top 5 goes at certain times.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Know what rappers are like, lad? They're like when you was a kid, wrestling cards. Do you remember buying them packs of wrestling cards?
Yeah.
And you used to look at them. It's like that. And each rapper's got their own special powers.
Right.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
But while we're speaking on special powers, you're in the middle of cutting something called the Primo mixtape, which is you're going over all Primo's beats.
Yeah, man. DJ Premier is my all-time favorite producer. Now, like I said, I love like Just Blaze, Timbaland, and everybody like the rest. But like, I don't know, growing up and just my journey in hip hop, I always loved a DJ Premier beat. And so, you know, I came up with this idea, especially during this COVID-19. I was like, you know what? I'm just in the studio every day. I'm just cranking out content. And I've always had this idea. It was like, man, I want to do a project where I rap over nothing but Primo beats. And because I was like, I always had this dream of rapping on a Primo beat. So then, like, that's kind of like, that's the name of the project. It's called Dreams of Rapping on a Primo Beat.
Are you doing any of the P-Rhyme beats?
So right now I've only got 3 in, but what I do, I got this playlist of like Primo beats, and I just kind of play them, and then whatever moves me. So like I don't have a structure on what I'm doing yet. I know that I'm going to do that Royce Boom. I'm kind of scared because I feel like there's no way I'm gonna body it like Royce did.
Royce is a monster, bro.
Royce
Absolute
is a monster. But I do have to touch on that. But you know, some of those P-Rhyme beats are on there as well. I don't know what I'm gonna rap on yet. I play it while I'm in the studio and I'm vibing out, and then whatever moves me at the moment. Because I want it to be kind of sporadic. I want it to be kind of that organic. But I'm planning on doing like at least 7 or 8. It's going to be a free project that I'm most likely going to throw out on my SoundCloud. That I'm going to put out. Then it's going to be Dreams of Rhyming on a Primo beat, and I'm doing full structure songs. So I'm not just doing like just like freestyling on it or rapping on it. I'm doing full structure songs as if it was me and Primo working on it. Because
if it was an EP.
Yeah, like it was an EP. I got and then I got, you know, a DJ that I'm linking with to like throw in the scratches and the hooks if I need, you know, that I need, because I want it to sound as organic as possible. I want if it ever come across Primo's lap or his ears and he goes, "What is this?" and he listens to it like, "Yo, this guy sounds really good." That, you know, like at least like even if nothing comes from it besides Primo saying, "Yo, this guy sounds pretty good," I would be okay with that.
And there's a chance that will probably happen, because I know it sounds crazy, but like I had Vanilla Ice tweeting me the other day. I've been speaking to Young Buck from G Unit, and like these are the like things. Like the internet's a big place, in it, and people get bored, bro. You know what I mean? And they start reaching out and start watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. They're like, well, you know what I mean? So there's a chance that he is going to see this, you know, especially if you put it up on YouTube. You know what I mean? Yeah,
definitely am, man. You know, so
definitely will. But while we're speaking on freestyles and mixes and all that, are you okay to give us a little 16-bar freestyle? It can be off the top of the dome. It can be 16 bars written, but just as long as it's 16 bars.
All right,
you know, for that.
Sure, yeah. I can definitely give something. Man, the issue that I probably gonna have is containing it to 16. Sometimes I'm long-winded, but I'll give you one. All right, like, look, I'm on my angel shit. I'm like an atheist. You can't hang with this dog. You can't bang with this bang bang till I'm famous, and I can't stand all them dangers with the main came with the bangers, and I paint stain on you name is pow. I'm so middle, big dog, you so little, so stop. It's Midwest on the top of the block. You know it's young, I'm so hungry we feast. These niggas never gonna eat. It's suicide like drinking some bleach, I'm saying. Who you thought was gonna fall off? Not him, stop him, no. We like Eric B and Rock him, that's him, Paul Ton, my song, all son. Cause Lil Wayne ain't the only one that's Marshawn. I'm from another planet, these niggas, they can't stand it, goddamn it. Play the boy, got goons that make you vanish like David Copperfield and chop and feel like chopping still, stopping still. I stop and kill, it's very possible. And he deserve it because he grind hard, pause, unpause. I go hard for this Midwest cause. And if Rosie say do it, I done it. If he say get it, I run it. The fucking best, we gonna keep it 100. She, I know they hear me, but baby, they probably fit me. Ain't another nigga near me. I'm nice, a beast clearly. My prophecy, my philosophy. Break niggas off properly, probably. I'm a goblin. Flows is armed robbery, exposed like pornography, flash like photography, possibly. Tell me, is there any nigga out there stopping me? Not. I come through, watch me drop on the stop with a mercury rhyme flow. Mr. Boppity Bop, I got what he's not. Stop, drop, guaps on the knot. Pops pop like pop rock. Now I'm topping the block. I'm cruising the left. Ah.
Oh, boom! Yes.
Yeah.
That was sick, bro. There's some
Yeah, thanks.
sick punchlines in there, though.
Yeah.
Like proper. I love the Lil Wayne bar with the Martian one. Especially, it's one of them you'd have to, because you're spitting it so far, you'd have to listen no more than a few times, know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the flash and the photography and all that type of thing, it's sounding sweet, bro.
Yeah,
sweet.
man.
But you've got some online gigs coming. We've moved everything online now, haven't we? Because obviously with this COVID-19, we can't perform at venues anymore. So there's this like little online gigging world going on at the minute. So what have you got coming up?
Well, first and foremost, I want to give you guys a salute. You guys put me on my first online one. I appreciate that. And then I got one with Right Chords Music. They're doing a takeover. It's actually a 3-day festival. May I do believe the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. I will be rocking out on the 8th. So that one's coming up. And then I got a few done. They're not announced yet. So I got at least like 2 or 3 more that I'm working on during this COVID-19 situation. Yeah. So I would just say, like, follow me, man, and I can definitely, for those who are interested, who would like to know when that next one is, that's where I will be updating everybody on my social medias and everything.
What does it feel like performing online in your house on an online gig? Because it's like, we're used to venues. Yeah. Used to holding the mic, being at a venue, a crowd being there, a couple of drinks, maybe a few smokes, you know what I mean? Right. Just vibing to being stuck in your house or your garage or your garden or kitchen, wherever you are, you know what I mean? Right. How does it feel? Does it feel weird or?
It felt weird the first few, but like the first few minutes of it. But then, I said, I'm gonna take this approach as if I'm on that stage. So I'm gonna just make sure I give out that energy and everything. But it's just weird because I do love to control the crowd. So I do love to do the callbacks and everything, and not having that callback. That was weird. But here's my thought process. I'm like, you know what? What this is doing, this is preparing me for things like Tiny Desk and stuff like that I want to do. So I was like, let me hone this because I want when people see this, they were like, man, I can imagine what he would be like on stage, or I can imagine if he was here, and I want them to want to bring me there. So that's my approach to it. So like I said, the first few minutes is the first few minutes is weird, but then I'm like, let's still put on a performance. Let's try to make it something. So.
Yeah. No, it's just I haven't done one yet myself. Yeah, but I've got like 3 or 4 lined up, which I've got to do. So I'm just a bit like, know what I mean? I'm not used to it, lad. But obviously we come to the end of the interview. We've actually run over, bro, because it was that good of an interview. We've gone.
Oh man, sorry.
Do you get me? Because we only do like half an hour shows. Know what I mean? But we've gone over. But is there anything that you want to say or you want to get across before we go, as well as plug your socials so that people know where they can find you?
Well, first and foremost, man, I want to, like I said, you introduced me to a whole new fan base, and I haven't seen the engagement. from overseas and everything like that. So I want to thank you for, you know what I'm saying, giving me the opportunity to rock with you on the record and just still keeping that engagement up. And anybody that has became a fan of me based off of you, I want to say I salute you. I appreciate you guys. And then, like I said, you can follow me on all social media. Is Young_Deuces, DEUCES, Young spelled the correct way. My website, youngdeuces.com. I'm on every platform. Yeah, that's where you can find me. I update a lot of things. That's where I put all my music videos. So like, you know, YouTube, same thing. Just type in Young Deuces. You'll find a lot of Streets of Young Deuces stuff, but like you'll still also find some Young Deuces stuff as well. So both of those, no matter where you find my music, you know, appreciate that. And then, yeah, man, I appreciate this interview, man. It was fun.
It was good, wasn't it? Like, I know it sounds weird, right? But this is actually the first time we've spoke.
Yeah.
Even though we've been on a record together.
Yeah.
And we've got a music video together.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been on hundreds of radio stations and magazines and everything.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've spoke. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's just mutual, but the thing is, we both have mutual respect for each other. We both saw each other's grind online, and we kind of stay connected with that. Like before we even did the song, we followed each other for a good year and a half, just supporting each other's grind and hustle.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's what it is, isn't it? See, with me, just before we end this, it doesn't matter what race, what religion, what color, anything. Hip hop brings people together.
100%. 100%.
And that is a fact, bro. I know this for a fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've got friends who are Tunisian, African, Jamaican. You know what I mean? And it's all being brought together through music. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'd say again, I'm going to take this opportunity, obviously, to thank you for being a part of my project as well.
Anytime.
Journey. It was a pleasure, bro. Enjoyed working with you. Thought everything went really good. Want to thank you for headlining the radio online show. And obviously want to thank you for doing this interview today as well. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so no doubt we're going to stay in touch and link up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Might even video chat you again.
Yeah, definitely video chat. We're definitely gonna do more. We're definitely gonna do more music, man.
That's it. So what you call it? If you're working on that Primo mixtape and you decide to go on a P Rhyme track, I know which one I like. It's with Royce and Dave. Shout me. I'll get you the verse over, brother. Okay.
Most definitely.
Nice one. And we are out. This is Young Deuces. You can find them on any social media platform under Young_Deuces. That's DEUCES.
Yes, indeed.
That's correct. Yeah, there you go. Nice one, brother. I'll speak to you later.
All right then. Appreciate y'all. Yep.
Thank you.